On Sunday, Ron Klain said that the White House had invited a group of Republican senators to come talk about infrastructure. Do you have any details about that meeting, including whether the president will attend?
Sure. So I think he was referring to the invitation the president made to Senator Capito that we announced last week, and a group of members she selects to come to the White House. Since Senate is on recess this week, we anticipate that meeting being next week, and it just hasn't been locked in yet on the day and who will be included in that group of attendees. But that's what he was referring to this weekend. But we don't have an update quite yet. As we have one, we'll share that with all of you.
Thanks, Jen.
Go ahead, Kristen.
Thanks, Jen. I just want to give you a chance to respond to the accusations that the American Federation of Teachers, the country's second largest teachers union, influenced the CDC's guidelines on reopening schools. You had Republican Senator Tom Cotton saying that this is evidence of a politicized public health agency answering at the beck and call of the teachers union. So how does the White House respond?
Well, I would say first that's false. Let's take a step back and talk about how the CDC works. The CDC, it's actually long-standing best practice for the CDC to engage with organizations and groups that are going to be impacted by guidance and recommendations issued by the agency. It doesn't mean they are taking everything they want or even a percentage of what they want, but it's important to understand the implementation components. They do so to ensure that recommendations are feasible and that they adequately address the safety and well-being of the individuals the guidance is aimed to protect. So the CDC engaged with around 50 stakeholders that are on the front lines in this pandemic and have requisite perspective for the guidance.
The president reiterated last week that July 4th is the target date for returning American life to something closer to normal. Can you just define what exactly closer to normal is? What does that look like for the average American?
Well, first, the president will have more about his updated goals that we have as an administration by that July timeline that he'll talk about later this afternoon. What he's talked about is if you're giving incentives for people to be vaccinated, to understand what the benefits are of getting a shot or two shots. And one of the things he's talked about for some time since his primetime address before the joint address was people being able to gather in their backyard and have a barbecue. And obviously we follow the advice and guidelines of our health and medical experts, but if we increase the number of people who are vaccinated around the country in communities, that will enable people to do more things that they're used to. So the guidance last week, of course, said that if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask outside as long as you're not in a crowd. It also said if you're vaccinated, you can go a lot of places if you're wearing a mask and you can feel safe and comfortable. But he'll have more to say later this afternoon about the July timeline.
Okay, and one more.